What's happening, my friends? Welcome back to some more Star Wars Battlefront Blast gameplay action. We're taking it back to the Sulfur fields here. I apologize for the abrupt open here into the round, but this is how I joined. I had just joined this lobby or this server, and noticed that the game had just started, so I clicked the capture button and actually pulled in a pretty good round here. So and it starts out a little slow with the A280C. That's the weapon you're seeing showcased, where you're watching me wield here. It starts off a little slow, but I'll tell you, the action, the intensity of the round ramps up as time goes on, and it really does shape up to be a pretty good viewing experience. So definitely worth checking out or watching until the end. Anyway, let's discuss the weapon real quickly. It's the A280C. It is the starting weapon in the game. It's the first weapon made available to you when you first start, competing out there in some multiplayer matches. And probably, you know what, at first, when I started, was just climbing the ranks, and unlocking new guns. I definitely did drift away from this weapon, but going back to it at some point, really found it to be a pretty tried and tested and true weapon. It really is great, well-balanced, all-round blaster rifle. Gets the job done out there. And currently coupled in there with the explosive shot, and my bounty hunter trait is in there. I've got the thermal grenades and the jump pack. Now the explosive shot really does work well with this weapon. The times where I like to use the explosive shot the most with this gun are when I'm at range. I find that I can just kind of hip fire pretty cleanly with this at the mid to close range. But at longer ranges, where I'm zoomed in, where guys are scurrying, and it's maybe a little bit harder to hit, that explosive shot will definitely come in handy, so that when you are connecting with your opponent at those longer ranges, they're feeling it. You're doing the damage that you need to do, because you're probably going to hit fewer shots than you would be hitting when they're when they're at this range right here. I play Battlefront, yes. And the other time I'll use the explosive shot pretty heavily with this weapon are at kind of blind corners, or at bottlenecks where I know that, or near spawns where I know that there's some activity on radar, where I know there are guys coming around the corner or coming down some corridor, and I just don't know how many there are going to be. So I'll use it as a bit of an equalizer, try and throw the odds in my favor when I feel like I'm at a disadvantage in some way. If I'm going up against stronger numbers, or if I'm coming sailing into enemy territory, and I'm going to need to put guys down quickly so that I can deal with multiple targets. With all that said, I think I'm just going to let the gameplay or the match play out here. I'm going to discuss the recent patch that came in for this game. Now, this match we're watching here is pre-patch. The most recent update for this game, I think it was January 26th or something like that. There was a major attempt by DICE to better balance some of these weapons. I've made mention in past videos that the DL44, if you play the game, you should be well aware of it. It's a pretty abused, overused kit. The DL44, a bowcaster combo with a jump pack, and even taking it a step further, the bounty hunter trait that I use. This is probably a little known fact to some of the more, and I don't mean this in any sort of insulting way, some of the more casual gamers out there, but the bounty hunter perk, when you get it to level 3, what it's basically going to do, not only are you getting power-ups for most of you, if not all of your kills, but it's also recharging all of your cooldowns on your star cards. So what some guys were doing with the bowcaster is, if they would have the bounty hunter trait attached or within that kit, they'd have their bowcaster out, they would hit level 3 with the bounty hunter trait, and then they would do what the bowcasters do. They would jump into the air with their jump pack, have the weapon charging, release the full charge down at the ground below to the mere mortals, right? With quotation marks, the mere mortals below, kill somebody, and everything would recharge immediately. The jump pack, the bowcaster, they'd redraw the bowcaster, they would land, and they would take flight again immediately. We're charging up the bowcaster and rain down some death, and rinse and repeat. That's what some guys were doing, and some guys were doing it really effectively. But anyway, there was a real effort made to bring a little bit more balance to the game. Much has been nerfed. I was quite happy to see it come in. I'm going to have to... We also got a new map, but I haven't spent very much time with the game since the most recent update, so I'll have to spend some time with it, see how it all plays. Some of the stuff that I like to use as well that you could consider to be somewhat overpowered, the explosive shot being one of those things, the scan pulse being something else. The duration on both of those cards has been scaled back, and the explosive shot damage has also been scaled back as well. So cooldowns have been scaled or increased across the board for many items, for many of the star cards and gear that you can wield, which brings a little bit more life towards like stuff like the sharpshooter trait, where headshots are going to reduce cooldown times for your star cards, and you know, it will give that a greater purpose and maybe have a few more people using it to try and gain that advantage. The big news really is the DO44 being its rate of fire has been scaled back. It overheats a little bit faster. I even think the damage was perhaps scaled back slightly as well to make it a 3-shooter rather than a 2. I'm not 100% on that though. But the bowcaster was completely nerfed, and many of the other items as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays. I think it was probably a good thing. I was definitely happy to see it, and well, I can't wait to get into some fresh gameplay with that new update active. Anyway, appreciate y'all stopping in for this. Hope you had a good time. I hope to see you next time. But of course, until then, remember why it hurts. Later.
There was his friend, which came as some surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I thought you died alone.